morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here to present to you the French activities and outlook. I'm Sylvain Chevassus. I work on sustainable consumption and production at the French Sustainable Development Ministry, which is a large ministry which was set up in 2007, in the dynamic of the Grenelle de l'Environnement, which I will touch upon briefly in my first slide. This ministry integrates environment, transport, energy, sea issues, green technologies issues. And I'm following quite a wide range of EU and national sustainable consumption and production topics and issues. So I'm not LCA technical expert. I'm not saying that to avoid questions. If you have questions that are quite technical, I will try to respond to them as much as I can. Otherwise, I will take note of them and try to get an answer for you from our technical experts in the French Environment and Energy Agency, ADEME, who are developing the carbon and environmental footprint methodologies and tools. So to set the context, as I was saying, in 2007 we had the Grenelle de l'Environnement, which was a sort of national roundtable on environmental policy, gathering all stakeholders, a process that lasted approximately 6 months and which led to the elaboration by the ministry and the government of framework environmental laws, including series of measures covering wide sectors such as building, transport, and one of the important sectors was also sustainable consumption. And the aim of our sustainable consumption policy is notably focused on greener products with the objectives of making them more visible through, existing instruments such as eco-labels, energy labeling, and all that, existing instrument that we continue to promote and develop, obviously in partnership with the EU. But also new instruments, and this is the environmental labeling of consumer products, which I'm talking about this morning. Making greener products also more credible through a better control of green claims, and also making greener products more accessible through economic incentives. And this is a bit similar to the tool mix that Pavel Misiga was advocating as a mixture of information, regulatory and voluntary tools and economic incentives. In the Grenelle second draft framework law, which is in the Parliament at the moment, there is a legal requirement to inform on the main environmental impacts of consumer products starting progressively from January 2011. Of course, it's not going to be imposed on all consumer products overnight at the beginning of January. We'll go progressively with the product categories which are the more mature in terms of tools and data. So it's going to be a progressive introduction. Ultimately, the objective is to favor more sustainable consumption and production patterns, to allow a comparison of products belonging to the same category and, when relevant, between product categories, to ensure, we've already seen that this morning, a comparability of the information through robust and consistent methodologies, and to harmonize environmental communication practices. Some of the main principles are derived, obviously, from the ISO works and LCA standards and from the PAS 2050. So we are taking into account product and packaging. We take a life cycle thinking approach The difference in the French approach is we are going further with the regulatory measure and also a multi-criteria approach. So we are not talking only about carbon, but also other main environmental impacts, although the carbon criteria will be universal to all product categories. This is a description of the governance for the tools. We have a general platform which is managed by the Environment Agency, ADEME, and the French standardization body, AFNOR, which is open to all. There are 500 registered participants, open to all stakeholders. We have a methodological working group. We have sector working groups, which are co-chaired by the business associations and by ADEME. And we have a communication format working group, as well as a database governance committee. Now, when we started at the beginning of 2008, we looked at what was available in the other countries and at international level. So the LCA ISO standards, with which we always aim to be compatible, and the PAS 2050. Then the first step for us was to elaborate a repository of good practices, setting obviously good practices as a sort of a guide, and also general principles. For example, the carbon footprint indicator for all product categories, the same functional units within a product category, a limited number of indicators per category. It's going to likely to be carbon plus 2, big maximum 3 additional environmental indicators, harmonized communication format, and the elaboration of a public secondary database. After this first step, we needed obviously to go further with the second step, which is the general methodology, which is built within the methodological working group that is reporting to the general platform for the technical validation by the general platform. This first environmental quantification methodology was adopted by the general platform in July 2009. It contains recommendations on key methodological issues such as end of life, carbon storage, allocations, cutoff criteria. It will be revised yearly to take into account concrete experiences and feedback, and to improve it, and also to make bridges with other national or European or international tools and methodologies. This general methodology is available in English. You can find it on the website there. Since it's provided by our standardization body, it's not for free, but it's not too expensive. Now, the third step is defining the rules per product categories. Here you find the list of the product groups that we are working on. Tableware is in gray because work has not started yet, but work has started for all the other product categories, with some categories more advanced than others. This is for the longer run, I would say. It hasn't started either. Now, we have a roadmap for defining the product category rules. First of all, define the perimeter of the product category and sub-categories, the functional units, the environmental indicators that will have to be informed by the economic operators based on the main environmental impacts that will have been previously identified by the working group. The calculation methods for the specific product category. Other issues, of course, such as end-of-life, byproducts, primary data, secondary data, and also the validity of data. What we mean by this is the justification of the results and the data and the methodology used by the economic operator. These working group activities are supported by several pilot projects led by the business associations and with the contribution of consultants. There's one on textile products as well. Now about the communication. For the time being, we have more questions than answers. But we have listed advantages and drawbacks for a list of possibilities. So it's a matter that will be settled in the year. First of all, at technical level, then it will have to be decided at the political level. Here you see some of the questions that are part of the discussion. On the database, work is going faster than on the communication aspects, and we have launched a study to identify the needs, what data we need, and also to identify the right tools in order to develop a public secondary database available to the economic operators, and also we will probably go for an online calculator, sort of simplified tools for the economic operators in French and in English. The schedule, we've already seen part of it. Now, further work on the database, on the product category rules, on the online calculation tool, as I've just said. So now I'll give you some information. It's really just for information. Please avoid to diffuse it too much. Well, it's public here anyway. But just to say, it's not validated yet at the technical level. And neither obviously at the political level, so it's really draft. We will see what the general platform validates at its next meeting on the 2nd of April. So the first product category rules foreseen are on shampoos. Not really that it's a strategic product in France. It's not a political choice. It's just because it corresponds to the working group, which is more advanced for the product category rules. For the data, it remains to be seen. There are still some gaps, but that we hope could be fulfilled by January 2011, and maybe we will start with this product category, although it's not sure yet. Other quite advanced working groups are on detergents and the shoes as well. So some points about these draft product category rules. The functional unit, still under discussion, but there are two options. Either 1 gram of shampoo dry extract or 8 grams of shampoo humid extract. The life cycle phases that have been selected are the production of the ingredients, of the packaging, of the shampoo itself, the retail phase activities, the use phase, the end of life of the product and of the packaging. The impact indicators: carbon, common to all product categories, water use, ultimate waste, and water pollution, ecotoxicity. We will see if this is validated once again on the 2nd of April by the general platform. The documents of the general platform are public. I can give you individually the website if you are interested. Now, other aspects to be taken into account: harmonization, standardization. France is contributing to the standardization works at international and EU level, and we very much support them. And of course, the context of the EU and WTO rules. Our measures won't be discriminatory on the origin, obviously, but on the environment, and there will be no market restrictions based on the environment indicator. It's really information on the environmental impacts of the product. Nevertheless, we are completely aware that it's not so simple. This is why we are developing simplified bilingual tools. On the online calculator, you will have the main indicators to fill in and secondary database available for use. But economic operators will be free also to use their specific data if they can justify them. And other issues concern, obviously, as well, the main responsibility on which economic operators. This is not decided yet, and we will take such decision in full consideration of the potential impacts on trade and on products. And the communication format as well can have impacts on this. Thank you for your attention.